Hi everyone, it's Lavendink. So we're a little over 1 week. I guess we're close. We're like a week and a half post release. So the album is out. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's out on pretty much everything. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, Tidal. It should be on Instagram, TikTok if you wanted to use it on there. So it's pretty much out into the world. Which is really sick. And I thought maybe I should talk about it, you know? I thought maybe I should talk about it. That might be a good idea. I know, I'm sorry there's been nothing. I was pretty much busy all day, every day, for like the past week. Like I've done something every day and I was a little tired, so I haven't like properly filmed a video in a while. Also, if my voice sounds a little like off, it's because I lost my voice. First off, thank you so much to everyone who listened to it and who's like super thank you to everyone who's like sent me a message saying that you listened to it or commented on anything. I really appreciate it. Huge ego boost for me, honestly. No, but thank you so much for just watching and listening and being here, because it's pretty sick that I get to do this for fun and just like have it exist. If you shared it, thank you so much. Also, I'm so sorry. The window's open. Normally I would film with the window closed, but it is literally, I have a thermometer. It is literally 90 degrees in my room. So I will not be filming with the window closed today. Okay. The camera's acting up, so this could be a fun video. I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but super special thank you to anyone who shared it or put it on a playlist or anything like that. Like it is truly blows my mind that anyone would want to like put my music on a playlist or share it or like just any of that. Like it honestly, this whole thing has just been like mind-blowing for me. So, thank you so much. So, I have a few questions. Follow me on Instagram at Lavendink if you're not already. That's where all this, any sort of thing where I'm gonna ask you guys questions, that's where it's gonna happen. So, follow me at Lavendink. The first question is inspo for album cover. I thought this was an interesting one. So, the album cover for this, is here. I'll throw it up on the screen, but it's it's kind of just a collage of a bunch of photos of me from when I was a young child. So for a long time, I didn't know what I was gonna do for the album art because I'm not a great traditional artist. Like I can paint pretty okay, but like doing like art with like a computer is really not my strong suit. Things just don't tend to go great. So I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. Because I was like, if it's something that's like fully art, then I don't know how, like, I'm gonna need to commission that, and I don't know that I have the resources to do that. And if I want to do my own, like, I'm not a great artist, so I'm gonna have to figure something out that is like using real pictures. And so I think a big influence was the Begin Again cover art from Adam Melcher's song Begin Again, specifically the single release. Because it was sort of like, and like also the like lyric video for that, because it had a lot of like scraps of paper and stuff like that, and I was like, maybe I can do something with that. Yeah, and so because the title is The Letters I Couldn't Write, I kind of knew that I wanted paper and like torn paper to be a texture that was in there. So once I'd like gone through and like decided that I wanted to use like what photos I wanted to use, I kind of just went through and did my best to Photoshop it and make it look a little bit like torn paper at least. And the next question, were there any alternative album titles? Many. There were a lot. Most of them weren't good though, is the thing. I had sent a list to one of my friends. Here, I'll try and find it real fast. Yeah, so I had sent a list to my friend. The Letters I Couldn't Write was always, once I'd come up with it, that was my top, my favorite. And then the next was I Can't Promise Anything. Between the Spaces and Lines was also one that I liked, just because I think it sort of played off the theme of like letters, like between the spaces and lines. Yeah, something like that. And then there's the last one on the list I sent out, which I won't tell you because I might actually reuse it for something. I really like it. It just didn't fit with this release. So that might be a thing. Ooh, okay. Any specific reason for why the songs on the album are in this order? Yes and no. I always knew that I wanted it to start with This Is a Song About Growing Up, and I always knew I wanted to end it with Promise Me. The middle, I did like purposefully order them in like the sense that like I listened through and like picked an order actively, but I didn't, like they're not in like the order they were written or the order or like something like that. Like it was sort of a deliberate order. Really fun story. So something that I wasn't aware of was how just sad a lot of the album was. I guess it just didn't like register to me that this was kind of like a sad bop album. And so when I was ordering it, I knew I didn't want it to be too sad for too long. So like I knew I didn't want Muted and I Don't Want to Always Be Sad and I Just Want to Feel Okay to all be like right next to each other. You know, just because I felt like that would be a little too much. The pairs were really intentional. So I knew I wanted I Just Want to Feel Okay and I Don't Want to Always Be Sad to be next to each other. And I knew that, you know, Muted and This Is a Song About Growing Up were going to be next to each other. And everything, and If I Could Have This Dance, were going to be next to each other. I don't know, it just felt right. So, yeah, that's the album order, I guess. What was Sunrise about or inspired by? So, this one is a little, most of my songs are written off a very specific situation. But Sunrise was sort of, in the summer, I had driven up, I was in the car with my mom, and we were driving up to Oregon. So we left really early in the morning, like 3 a.m. really early. And so on the ride there, like we were in the dark for a while and then we kind of like caught the sunrise coming up. And so that was kind of like that specific moment was like sunrise alongside our car. Like that was sort of, so the whole song was built around that line that I had come up with. So the rest of it is relatively made up. I wanted to capture the feeling of just being awake when the world is waking up too. Yeah, so that's what that's about. Okay. Which song was the most fun to write / produce? What I Want was probably the most fun to write because I was just kind of like messing around and then I was like, wait a minute. This is gonna be a bop. So I had a lot of fun with that one. And it's not like super complicated, but I very much like the lyric, hands so close but no cigar. I just love it. I'm very proud of that one. So that was one that I was really excited about. So it was really fun to write and really fun to produce because I was just so excited to be like doing something, obviously doing something more fun and more happy than on the rest of the songs on the album, but also just have something like that was a little jazzier, I guess. I guess it's jazz inspired in the sense that like it's, you know, like it was a little more kickback, I guess. I don't know. Bad at musical terms, but a little more jazzy, a little more fun. And so that one was the most fun to write, produce. Which tracks were the longest, the hardest, and the easiest to make? Okay, this one's gonna be hard. So I think the easiest to produce and the easiest to write are different. So the easiest to write, I want to say, was We Feel So Far. Because that one I remember kind of just fell out of me. Like I wasn't really, like I kind of like I will sit down and like write, but I seem to remember like what I had written and like how that song came together just happened really quickly. I didn't produce it until very late in the game though. So I think I wrote it in the summer, in like summer of 2020, and I think I produced it like spring of 2021. So there was like a good like 9 months where I hadn't produced it yet because I don't know, I think I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. Like I wasn't sure where I wanted that song to go. So I think that one was the easiest to write but not the easiest to produce. The easiest to produce. I think honestly, I think the easiest to produce was What I Want. I think I wrote it and produced it in the same day. Like I think I'm pretty much like wrote it and then was like I have to do this right now, and I immediately like recorded and like went and produced it all. So I think What I Want was probably the easiest. But the longest was definitely Promise Me, just because I knew I wanted it to have like a choir in it, which meant I had to get people to sing it and like have them learn the parts and record it for me. So that took the longest just because I think there were just so many like tracks because I had everyone's individual voice and I was like cleaning all of them up. So that one took the longest for sure. But it wasn't necessarily like hard, I guess, because I knew what I wanted. I think everything was the hardest. Because again, I really didn't it took me a long time to record it and actually produce it. It was also I think everything might have been the last song I produced. It was either that or We Feel So Far was the last. But I think everything was the hardest because I just couldn't get it right when I was recording. Like that song really, I have to be like really on top of my like game and like, it's not the hardest song in the world to like play and sing, but it's not the easiest either. Like it definitely was one of my more like, I need to be having like a good voice day and I have to be like really paying attention to what I'm doing. And so I think I was having trouble getting it to sound right, and I was just getting really frustrated with it, and I knew I wanted to put it on, which was even worse because I was like, I really need to get this done and I can't, like for some reason I just can't do it right now. So I think that one was the hardest to produce. Yeah. Also, fun fact, this is a song about growing up. Was not the first one I wrote, but it was definitely the first one that was completed because I wrote it for film class. So I think I did it in, because I had to complete the entire project in like 24 hours, I think, because I procrastinated. So I think I wrote it, I like got up in the morning, wrote it, and recorded it, and then like finished it, and then had to go edit a video for it. Yeah, so this is a song about growing up, is certainly the oldest. And you might, I think you can hear it in the production that it is like, truly it is the first thing I had worked on. I guess do I have any favorite lyrics or favorite lines or phrases? I mentioned Hands So Close But No Cigar. That one is a favorite. I just love that line. I just love it. I'm enamored with that line. And then in Lavender Eyes, I will try to memorize every space and every line. I also really like that. I just think it's a really nice way of thinking about things. Yeah, that's some stuff about the album. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. I may or may not answer them, depending on whatever. If I want to. I appreciate them, but, depending on what they are, I may or may not answer. And I'd asked on my Instagram, but I am thinking I might do some, like, tutorials and stuff like that for some of the songs. So if you wanted to see a specific song, like how to play it, let me know in the comments so that I can like take that into account because I'm probably only gonna do 1, 2, or 3 of them depending on how I'm feeling and how hard they are for me to make, to be honest. So let me know which ones you want to see. And also, if you wanted to see, I was thinking about the idea of doing like lyric videos. So if you want to see any lyric videos, if there's any songs that you would really, really love the lyrics to, let me know, because I know I haven't like put them anywhere other than like, I think the ones that are on YouTube might have lyrics underneath them, but the rest of them don't. So if there's any songs that you like would like the lyrics to or want the lyric video to, like want a lyric video to, like let me know, because I can probably do that for you. I can figure that out. That might be a fun little project. So yeah, I think that's everything. Sick. So I love you all. Stay safe, be kind, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.